when we truly can. When you truly can be who you are on the inside. When people can truly see you for the beauty that you have, the challenges that you have, the level of focus that you have, the level of manifestation that you are from within yourself. See, each challenge that you go through, each thing that you make it through on a daily, each thing that you go through, that person that told you it's not possible or said that you can't do this or you can't achieve that, it's inside of themselves that are really saying that. Because when you sit down with yourself and you start to focus through your challenges, the only person who faces off against them is yourself. And so how do you focus to that point where you use your challenges? How do you focus to the point where what you are going through you overcome? See, it's inside of your mentality that you start to do that. It's inside of your ability to be who you are on the inside. It's inside of the person that you want to become, the person that you face off against on a daily basis that asks you the questions. And it's inside of your mind when you're not being treated well in your positions. It's inside of your mind when other people are trying to hold you back or tell you it's not possible. And it's always been possible. It's when you decide to be who you truly are. It's when you face off against those challenges that nobody else can for you. And they are there. They are always going to be around you. They are always going to be there for you. And it's not meant to stop you. So how do you start to get inwards to that level where you're using what you have inside? See, each of us feels that it's not always our fault. When absolutely our days, our weeks, our months, our mentalities are each of our own. And when we start to embrace that, when we start to embrace that ability, we start to see that we are actually quite rich. We are quite blessed. We are quite a blessing within this universe. And we recognize that there's a universe, but yet people forget that the universe works for you. It can work for you, and that is what I believe Albert Einstein understood. I believe that Albert Einstein understood this, what I'm talking about right now. That when you allow the universe to become your friend, when you allow this universe to work with you, when it starts to work as your friend, as it starts to work as your ally, your challenges you start to overcome, you see. The things that other people would say is impossible for you to do can become possible. I always look at the cell phone. I look at this thing and I realize that it's an amazing thing that we have a cell phone, okay? Because you can look back at Star Trek and you can see an exact description of a cell phone. Why did it take them nearly 20 years to make a cell phone? Why did it take them so long? Why did it take them so long to make a cell phone? And the reason why was because they were not focused to that level to where it was possible. Can we see this in our own lives? Where if we become focused enough to where things become possible, that things can become possible. That you can do the amazing. That you can become the amazing. That you can work through your challenges and you can get to the other side. That you can focus to that point where what you have going on, you start to overcome. It might just be possible. So can we look in other ways? Can we use that example In other words, can we start to work through our challenges and get to a page where we're using our challenges to our advantage? Can we focus to the point where we embrace them, where we focus through them, where we have our own inventions, our own mentalities, our own songs, our own being? And if other people have been able to do it, you can too. If other people have been able to achieve high levels of success from their mentality, then that means you can as well. So how do you start to study yourself? You know, like, there's many different ways to do that. You know, like, some of us like to write, right? So some people absolutely like to write. You know, other people like to sing, and they like to they like to put themselves in a place where, you know, they meditate. You know, sitting down and breathing and using your breath and overcoming your challenges through your mentality is my favorite place to be. It's inside of that place that I remembered when I was working 100 hours a week, that I used to go inwards. See, a lot of us think that heat is something that's meant to hurt you. What about the heat that you go through on a daily basis that's greater than that heat? What about the person that you are inside? See, that person inside of yourself is waiting for you to utilize your level of energy, your level of ability, your level of mentality. And so, see, some of you might be facing off against heat in your positions. Some of you might be facing off against heat in your homes. And some of you might even be facing off against heat in your life. So how do you overcome your heat inside of yourself? See, that's meditation right there. Self-study is meditation. Self-being is meditation. Understanding your energy is a form of meditation. Understanding your ability that the universe can utilize you. That's a part of your being. See, I enjoy helping people because it drives me. Because me helping other people, the ability to sit down and help other people, I don't know about you, but I do know for myself that when I receive from helping others, and I don't expect anything, this is the thing, but when I see other people become uplifted, when I see other people start to study themselves, when I see other people start to work through their challenges, it reminds me of the challenges that I went through. And if I can make it through my challenges, I can tell you, you can too. If I could sleep in a car for 2 months and do meditation in a sauna and get up to 5 hours before even walking out of a sauna, because what is going on inside is greater than what's going on the outside, then you can too. And if I could get to the place where the mentality has the ability inside to overcome the challenges, then you can too. And so if we're focusing to that level where we're utilizing that ability inside of ourselves, where our focus is becoming a reflection outwards, where we're focusing to the point where the challenges start to become overcome. See, each challenge that you overcome for yourself, each thing that you conquer is inside of ourselves. Each part of who we are is the ability inside of oneself to overcome their challenges. And so if we focus to that point where we use our challenges, so I was just asked a question, which lottery ticket should I pick? I would always say pick the one with your birth date, because if there's a calculation that will come possible one day, it will be your birth date. Okay, so if you see your birth numbers on it, that's what I would go for. Okay, so anyways, because eventually those numbers hit. That's the reason. So if we focus to that point where we're using what we have inside of ourselves, then our ability inside of who we are starts to radiate outwards. If we start to focus to that point where the challenges that we face off against, we start to overcome, then the ability inside of ourselves starts to radiate light outwards. So inwards journey creates outwards reflection. One day, I look forward to the day where all of that I'm saying is written down and scripted out. You know, I feel that we are all in a time of being where presence is becoming, where, you know, I look at the mere fact that there was one by the name of Yogi Bhajan. And I look at the fact that, you know, and a lot of the Indians would be in shock to know that my mom was a direct student of that teacher. And yet I am a Pisces. And I'm here to tell you that the time of Pisces has come. That the time of Pisces, of the fish, the focus and the knowledge being centered within oneself, that the literal stars in the sky, the signs talked about biblically, the signs and the seasons, this is the season of Pisces. Okay? There was a one Yogi Bhajan who introduced the stage of Aquarius. He actually brought that. You can actually look that up. And it would require one student of his to be able to bypass that. Okay, we're talking my great-grandpa, my grandpa, my mom, my dad, and myself. Okay? So I'm talking from generations of meditation. I'm talking from a place of understanding. And so if you are in a place where you're starting to be put to where self-awareness is starting to wake up, realize that the tools inside are starting to be used. And it's not just in the home, it's in the universe that we can utilize these kind of lessons. It's in the universe that we can start to see a level of focus start to come within ourselves. It's within the universe that our place and our purpose has its path on its journey. And so when I learned this for myself, I wanted to share it with other people. When I started to learn that knowledge comes from within, that focus is a part of the path, that the lotus, the external is like the pages. I see this everywhere. The theory of relativity, that mass and energy are interchangeable. And so are we using the mass that we are in the universe, that's scientifically written? Are we using the energy in the universe that flows within yourself and around you? Are we putting ourselves on a page where we become that kind of blessing? See, we are blessings within this universe. And we have our own path in this universe. And these things like fears, like emotions, like pains, like challenges, they're there to teach us and to give us the ability to overcome them. And so each of us have that kind of a place inside of ourselves where we're seeking that person and that knowledge. And it already lives inside of you. It already is inside of your being. It's already inside of your challenges. It's already inside of you, asking you, how can you do it? How can you become it? How can you focus through it? It's when you start to do it for you. It's when you start to become it within you. It's when you start to say, I can do this. I can become this. I can. Very good question I was asked. You're actually welcome to come on and actually ask that question here. But let's see if we can get you on. Send me an invite in there and I'll go ahead and bring you online. So let me go ahead and start breaking down astrology here. Like I said, I am a Christian. Okay, I believe that Christ was brought here to save mankind. Well, not the sense that other people go by, okay? I go from a place where I view many of these people who search out that way as baby Christians. I come from a place where in the beginning God divided the light from the dark. Okay, before the light was good. Okay, before God saw that light was good. Okay, so that's the type of meaning to me. Now, let me go ahead and start breaking down what the question that I was just asked. Now, I was just asked on an Instagram by Mercury 163. The question I was asked is, can astrology help us in the process? Is that legit? Okay. For all you people that are Christians that call astrology out and say it's not, it's not Christian, did not the three kings follow the star to Jesus Christ? If they did, then astrology exists. If astrology exists, then it has a purpose and a process in our life in understanding how astrology exists, which means tarot cards exist, which means parts of the universe were created by the Most High. So all these things are related inside of this universe. And not only that, even the chakras, the colors of the chakras exist biblically. And what I mean by this, they talk about a golden light, they talk about a white light. Okay, so they're talking about colors of light within the biblical. Okay, so that's just a couple of examples. Another example is Jesus walked over water. Another example, 23 times in the Bible, it's talked about meditation as reference to the next breath. So, they're all connected. It's up for you to find the connection. It's up for you to see the universe, to see the science that proves that the Creator is real, that the universe is here for you, that you are a part of this universe. It's up for you to embrace this universe at that level. And yes, astrology is legit. Yes, it's written biblically that God created the firmaments in the sky. And so when do we allow that to be a part of ourselves? When are we allowing the stars to be born in the sky as we are here and as we are beyond? So the process of being who we are is understanding positivity. It's seeing the light in the universe. It's seeing from the darkness to the light. It's seeing that ability to be closest to the light. And in the universe, we have a sun, right? We have a sun in the sky. It shines bright light towards the sun. From the sun at you, you can see this light radiate. And you have that inside of yourself too. And you are a blessing in this universe. You have a path in this universe. You were born with a journey. And sometimes we forget our journey. When people accompany us, we forget about ourselves. We forget about the mere fact that we have blessings within who we are. And so when we start to see the blessings inside of ourselves, when we start to utilize the blessings inside of ourselves, then people start to use your gifts. They start to use your talents. They start to use your being. And so each of us is a part of this path. I mean, I look at all of you as tools within the universe that are on your journey. Tools within this universe that are seeking out understanding. Tools within the universe that are searching for that growth within ourselves. That might be in your professions. That might be in your homes. That might be in your places of exercise. You know, some of you might want to be increasing in your muscle. You might want to be increasing in the different parts of who you are. See, those are just the results of your mentality. They're just a result of your ability for you to be who you are and for the reflections to radiate outwards. So, are we focusing to that level, or are we letting that level focus on us? See what I'm saying? So, it will either slap you in the face or it will uplift you to embrace yourself. And when you are willing to do what you want to do, to truly be who you want to be, that you're willing to be that person inside of yourself, those challenges start moving out of the way on their own. And that's what I realized when I bypassed the first hour, the second hour, the third hour, the fourth hour, the fifth hour inside of the sauna, that the challenges inside, if they're greater than what's going on around you, you can overcome them. And this goes to the person who is in the profession, who wants to become the top salesman in their position, who wants to become the top companion in their lives, that just wants to have that kind of place, to have that kind of embrace within their being. And sometimes, when we join something, we sometimes outgrow it. We outgrow those types of people that are not really meant to be in our lives. We find that type of place to have that kind of understanding. And it's such a great thing when our paths our journeys start to become a blessing. Think of that one person who followed their dream to the point where they were willing to die for it. They were willing to give up their sleep, their energy for it. They were willing to be who they are inside, and how it drove them to a point where they became who they truly are. You know, we see these all the times in sports. We see these kind of people all the time in professions. You know, I see them all the time. They call themselves, you know, qualified yogis. Then they sit inside the sauna with me and they can't cross their legs for even an hour. Each day that we become who we are on the inside, or, you know, they call themselves meditators, but yet they put a picture of somebody else down in front of themselves instead of become who they are on the inside. And I'm talking to all those people who look for the teacher on the outside instead of within. Look within yourself. Look within your being. Look at your level of qualification on you. Your level of limitations come from your mind. Your level of ability comes from within you. Your gifts, your talents, they shine through when you're willing to be who you are on the inside. When you're willing to face off against your challenges at that level. When you're willing to connect your focus and your knowledge and your determination to be who you are, focusing to that point where what you have and what you faced off against you can overcome. See, manifestation comes from within you. It comes from your vibration. You know, perfect example is a person who wants to get some kind of a vehicle. You know, so they go out and they buy this vehicle, and everywhere they go from that point, they see it everywhere. All of a sudden, it's everywhere. But they were the first one to get it. And now everyone has it. Why? Because the vibration has been put into the universe. That is a form of knowledge, my friends. That is a form of knowledge, and it is something that you can utilize. It's something that you can do and that you can become. Let's go ahead and start looking at how we can connect these. When you start connecting your focus and your knowledge together, amazing things happen. When your knowledge and your focus have the ability to work through you, when they have the ability to become centered inside of you, when you are so focused that your knowledge becomes available, that the person inside of you starts to radiate that kind of light outwards, when it starts to radiate from that level of discipline, where focus and knowledge becomes centered within oneself, where this being is, where this purpose is, where this path is, where this journey is, the universe starts taking note. People start seeking you out. They start seeking your ability. They start seeking your mentality. And it's inside of that place that amazing things can happen. It's inside of that place where other people can see you as an inspiration. They can see you as a focus beyond focus, meaning inwards focus, knowledge beyond knowledge, and inwards knowledge, and discipline beyond discipline, which is inspiration in the universe. We are yet but tools. When we use the tools we have, when we are the blessing that we are, when we focus to the point where what we have going on, we have the ability to overcome. When we're focused at that level where we see the hundreds of thousands of people, where we communicate across the world, and we use that kind of mentality to uplift other people by being yourself, the beauty inside of you starts to radiate outwards. The being inside of you, the manifestation within yourself that you are a blessing within this universe, starts to radiate light. And I remember being in the sauna and being in my own place, and there would be people that were for that, and there would be people that were against that. And I remember one guy saying to me, "Let me know if anybody ever says anything to you, because you are not doing anything to nobody but being yourself." When do you be yourself in your total day? When do you find who you are and you see that as an inspiration in the universe? See, I don't mind being soft. I know how strong I am. Heck, I was doing 300 push-ups, 100 handstand push-ups, sit-ups, squats, leg lifts, yoga for around 300 times each, and meditating inside of a sauna. I know the mentality to bypass hours. I know the mentality to go within oneself, to get to the place where you focus beyond your challenges, where other people are not willing to go. And I also know that you all have gifts inside of you, that you all have blessings inside of you, that when you connect your focus and your knowledge at the point of centering within oneself, where all you have is you, and you're no longer comparing yourself to anybody else, that the blessings inside of you start to radiate light outwards. And that is connecting oneself together. That is pulling yourself together. That is putting yourself in a place where you're focusing past your challenges, where you have within you the ability to focus to the point where the universe can use you as a tool. See, this universe is built for you. Okay, let's go ahead and work on it. I got about another little bit of time here. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. Look, in life we have ability to be focused, okay? And there's a reason why each of us have a number combination. And the reason why we have a number combination is because if we focus into that ability to use what we have, then it has an ability to eventually work. So, I'm going to go back to a time when I had a dream. And I'm going to share this dream with you, and it might answer your question there, okay? So I'm getting a Periscope message here. It's saying I picked numbers last night, and this morning I woke up thinking about the numbers. Which one should I take? Pick number 1 from the last... So let me go ahead and share this to you guys, okay? So in meditation, time stops, okay? When I went into meditation for 5 hours inside of a sauna, the time completely stopped. I couldn't feel the time. I was focused on what was going on inside. When I woke up, I had a friend there, 2.5 hours had passed. My friend, I helped him out for an hour while I was doing meditation, working with somebody else as a student. And then I went back into meditation. When I woke back up and I walked outside of the sauna, I saw the time where it said 5 hours, okay, had passed. So the night that I went home, I had a dream, okay, but I was going in and out for an additional 3 hours because my friend started walking in there. And the dream that I had was that we live in a time machine, okay? And there are other people who are inside of that time machine as well, too, all right? And when I went in, this is the dream that I had. Now, this is just a dream, okay? So what I imagined in this dream, what I saw in this dream was that I exited this time machine, and inside the time machine, there were other people there who were knowledgeable about this time machine. Okay? So when I woke up 3 hours and 30 minutes exactly later, with the understanding that time is just a machine. So if you're going to be searching out things like that, look at that purpose in that time that you were waking up. Look at the purpose in the dream that you had, and in the purpose in the numbers themselves, okay? So when understanding that is where you would want to pick from those types of things. So that is what it's about. So, like, for instance, if a person is born February 1st, 1955, you would want to stay solid with the number for 1955. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because eventually the yield will happen from the focus that you put into it. Because the universe works in a way in which the things that you focus towards, you get. If you don't focus, you can't. So if you're allowing other things to change the mind and the mentality that you use, then it's not allowing that focus to work in the universe. Yeah, so that's exactly the way that you would go, though. So I can't tell you your thing. It's up to you to understand the universe. Okay, it's your path, it's your journey, it's your purpose, and like it's not my place to say how. Do you understand what I'm saying? So then what you would want to do is so this guy is asking me about numbers here, okay? And you're welcome to call in, like, so that people can actually hear you here. But it's almost like numbers themselves have words behind them too, okay? So sometimes the numbers are not just the numbers. So like if you spell it out, it might give you an answer, yeah? So like 43 would be 4 and then a 3. And so sometimes those can actually have their own answers to them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anyways, there is so much in this universe. There's so many blessings that we have available to ourselves when we see the ability to use them. And so are we putting our gifts to use? Are we putting, like a lot of people look biblically and it talks about, gifts. And that's not to be ignored, guys. There's healers out there. There's, psychologists out there. There's people out there that their main focus is to use their gifts. Like Olympic athletes, for instance. When you hit a place where you start using your gifts, the universe has tests, right? So when you think that you're on top of the world, then you find that other people are up there too. And the really cool part about that is if your foundation is built in your focus and it's built in yourself, then ultimately your only challenge is yourself, you see. And a lot of people, that the foundation that is built on, and a lot of times this is how teamwork works in teams where they're trying to beat another team. Okay. It doesn't work that way, guys. How it truly works inside of yourself is that you perform the best that you can. And when a whole bunch of people perform the best that they can, amazing things happen when you have teamwork. And they neglect themselves and they compare and they try to have somebody else do it for them. I can think of a player that played for Brazil named Pelé, who ended up entering a match one day and what happens? Almost the whole entire team gets taken off the field. He has himself and 2 defenders, 3 people versus the whole team. And he still beat them. Are you shining at that level in your life? Or are you letting it stop you? Anyways, I'm at about the past an hour mark within oneself. Believe in oneself, uplift oneself, become disciplined to the place where you utilize your challenges to your advantages, and watch how the universe utilizes you. Watch how that level of discipline becomes an inspiration where we ask ourselves every day the questions, is this motivation? Is this meditation? Is this inspiration? If it's not one of the 3, I don't want it. Ask yourself about these messages. As I close, I just want to leave you all with a blessing. I want you to become uplifted. As I close, I want to say blessings, blessings, and namaste.